Horror games have been around since way before I was born. When you search for the first horror game, you get a few results, but the most notable ones are 3D Monster Maze, released in 1981, and Nostromo, also released in 1981. In modern day, we have the likes of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Outlast, but what about the more underground stuff? More specifically, what about horror games that were never meant to be horror games, but were made into horror games through the power of the internet and creepypasta? Just to be perfectly clear, this video is going to be about creepypastas that spawned from normal games rather than games that were based on creepypastas like Slender the 8 Pages. There will be a few exceptions to this rule because otherwise this video would be impossible to make, but this underlying rule will still apply to those creepypastas. For example, Sonic.exe was merely just a creepypasta before it was multiple game kind of mini franchise, I suppose you could call it. The story goes as follows. Kid gets a haunted copy of Sonic in his mail from a friend saying to destroy the game, but because he is a dumb kid, he plays the haunted game instead and gets subjected to the kind of things you'd see on Live Leak back in the day, until he eventually frees Sonic.exe's soul or something. I don't fucking know, I didn't properly read the story. It's dumb, repetitive, and now has spiraled out of control to the point where there's basically an entire Omegaverse with a bunch of different characters. Just by taking a quick look at the fan wiki, you can see how out of hand it's become because the main man's page itself talks about a, quote, cult of X. But it also talks about his sexuality, crushes, and favourite food just before this. Nice to know I have a chance with him if I take him out for meatball subs. I wonder what Chris Chan thinks about all of this.
And now for something completely different. Electric Hedgehog power! Pew!
In somewhat the same ballpark, we have Mario. Yes, it is literally just called Mario. Rather than being a haunted game, it's a spooky ROM hack for Super Mario World that kind of questions Mario's morals as an individual. Yes, he's saving the princess, but in doing so, he's mistreating Yoshi and ending the lives of innocent creatures. The Goombas were never really actively trying to stop him because we know King Koopa used magic to transform the people of the Mushroom Kingdom into inanimate objects like bricks and stones, or into animals. The story culminates in Mario, quote, atoning for his actions, eventually being plummeted into a hell that looked exactly like Yoshi's Island, where he was lost to the grip of death forever. Conceptually, this creepypasta is actually really cool because, as I said before, it kind of questions Mario's morals as an individual, which was a concept that was never really talked about back in the day. Is it scary? Not really. It has some creepy imagery, sure, but so did all of the other video game creepypastas because having this shock factor got people talking about the story more. It's that classic playground tactic of, hey bro, have you seen or heard of this, that even old urban tales used way back in the day. Just look at the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot. It's the exact same thing, it's just in a different format. Speaking of urban legends like the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot, there's no way I could make a video like this without mentioning Herobrine. I can almost guarantee that this was the first creepypasta a lot of you guys watching heard about when you were younger because it was absolutely everywhere, with some YouTube channels making their entire careers off of this character and Mojang themselves referencing it in their patch notes. A lot of you might also not know the actual story behind Herobrine. This originally comes from 4chan, as all good stories do, where a user claimed to see a figure with white eyes in their Minecraft world, which then disappeared when they tried to follow it. The user found strange structures like pyramids and tunnels in their world, and when they asked about it online, their messages were deleted. Depending on who you ask, Herobrine is either the spirit of Notch's deceased brother or a fired Mojang employee. Obviously, it's actually neither because he doesn't really exist. There is no Herobrine. Unless you mod him in because the community love him so much that they decided to add him for funsies. I'd honestly love to see a nod to him in the next Minecraft movie because he was kind of the OG big video game creepypasta. I'm not asking for anything obvious, I'm not wanting them to be like, boom, here's Herobrine. I'm talking about just slipping him into the background of one of the scenes and seeing how long it'll take for people to pick up on it.
My name is not Steve, it's Brian. And I'm no hero.
Yeah, Herobrine!
Sorry.
But that just about does it for the spooky Halloween video. There are so many creepypastas surrounding video games that I could talk about, but we'd genuinely be here all day if I were to go over every single one of them. Movie Star Planet, for example, alone has a whole hacker ring creepypasta with bits of lore here and there that make M. Night Shyamalan look like a fraud. The impact that creepypastas have had on the gaming industry haven't gone ignored, with games like Minecraft embracing them and playing into these legends. I would even go as far to say that modern horror games like Poppy's Playtime are inspired by creepypastas, as a lot of them are inspired by analog horror and ARGs, which, you know, they kind of came out of the popularity of creepypastas. It's a whole ass timeline of internet horror and everything links back to creepypasta. Take SCP Containment Breach, for example. Those creatures started off as a series of creepypastas that were eventually strewn together to make an extremely popular game. This went on to eventually inspire things like The Backrooms, which is now being developed into an A24 movie produced by Sean Levy and James Wan, which are two huge names in the film industry. Sean Levy is best known for films like Real Steel and Deadpool and Wolverine, whilst James Wan is best known for his work on the Saw, Conjuring, and Insidious franchises, as well as a lot of other Blumhouse movies. It's insane to think all of this came from people writing dumb horror stories on the internet and publishing them on forums for thousands of people to read. Creepypasta never died, it just evolved. It's blossoming, it's blooming.